Here we go with example 11. We are getting very close to the last example. All right, so now a couple is borrowing $80,000 for 20 years at 7.2% compounded monthly. They must make monthly payments of $629.88. So we want to find their unpaid balance at the end of the first year. So how many payments is that in a year? So that would be, if they're compounded monthly, so that means that their PM, so where they stop their first payment, is 12. All right, so then TM minus PM, so if they have 20 years, so TM is going to be 12 times 20, so that is 240. So then TM minus PM is 240 minus 12. So that gives us 228 payments. So then unpaid balance is going to be our PV times, it's going to be, we can undo, our PMT times 1 minus 1 plus R over M to the negative TM minus PM that was right, all over R over M, where our payment is $629.88, our R is 0.072, our M is 12. Sorry, I have to stop for a second and take away the string from my puppy because he's trying to choke on some string. And he did not like the fact that I just took away his string. So now if we plug in, if you can imagine this string's hanging out of his puppy's mouth. So our payment is $629.88 times 1 minus 1 plus 0.072 divided by 12 to the negative 228 all over 0.072, that's a 7, divided by 12. So that gives us our unpaid balance of 781, not point, 40.96082. And we're going to store that in A. All right? So if we want to know how much we pay towards the principal within the first year, then we're going to take how much we borrow and subtract our unpaid balance, and that will give us the amount towards our principal. All right, and so that gives us our $80,000 minus our A, which is going to be 78. And that answer, will be 1859039,178. That's not that much. Okay? So during the first year, what are their total payments? So that's going to be our payment times 12, because we have 12 payments in the first year. So that's going to be 629.88 times 12, which is $7,558.56. Boy, that's a lot of money that we're putting in and very little that we're putting towards our principal. All right. So then if that's the case, how much did we pay in interest? So if we take that 7558.56 and subtract off the amount towards the principal, then that's going to be the amount we paid in interest. Okay, now if you think about this from the standpoint of our amortization table that we did back a couple of videos ago or a couple of examples ago, so this would have been example 8 and we're now on example 11. So in our amortization table we had our principal over here in the table, right? And then we had the amount towards our principal in this column, and then we had our payment, and we had our interest, right? And so if we looked at this amount towards our payment, the amount towards our principal, right here, this amount grows every time and the interest goes down in every time. If you notice that back in example 8. Okay, now I would scroll back up and show you, except that because I've done these videos over 2 days, that part of this file no longer exists. So if you go back and look at example 8 or look in the completed notes, you'll notice that in the table. But this is kind of interesting that in the first year, you're paying a lot more in interest. Okay, one of the things that you should note is that they're going to pay your interest up front. In most loans, you pay your interest up front. All right? So, let me know if you have any questions. All right? And I'll see you for the next example.